Mariposa is a town located in the Sierra Nevada foothills of California along California State Route 49 and 140. The town is located in an area of California commonly referred to as the Gold Country, which is famous for its many mining towns that sprung up during the California Gold Rush. In January of 2023, my grandpa and I made the journey to Mariposa to explore around the town and see what it had to offer. We spent several hours there, and here are a few highlights from our visit. The first thing we did when we got to Mariposa is we went to the Mariposa County Visitor Center, which offers a lot of information about the town itself and things to check out while you're there as well. I ended up purchasing a book there that gave out a lot of information about Mariposa and the other gold rush towns in the Gold Country, and I've even incorporated a lot of that information in that book into my videos along California Highway 49. Right outside the visitor center there along Highway 49 and 140 are a bunch of murals of butterflies, and if you didn't know, Mariposa is Spanish for butterfly and was named after the abundance of butterflies found in the area. After checking out the visitor center, me and my grandpa had lunch at the Subway there in downtown Mariposa before making our way over to the Mariposa County Courthouse, which is easily one of the best highlights you can see in Mariposa. The Mariposa County Courthouse was constructed in 1854 and is the oldest courthouse still in use west of the Mississippi River in the United States. The logs for the building were cut less than a mile from the courthouse and were cut by a sawmill powered by a wood-burning steam engine. The Mariposa County Courthouse was constructed in 1854 for $9,000, which is equivalent to over $300,000 in today's money. The Mariposa County Courthouse is kept in remarkable condition. As you can see, you can barely tell that it was constructed in the 1850s and is over 160 years old. My grandpa and I were lucky to go inside the courthouse and have a free tour of it, although they didn't allow me to record any video, but I respected their wishes, and let me tell you, it's definitely worth going in and checking out for yourself if you ever get the chance. So we just got done visiting the Mariposa County Courthouse, which is the oldest courthouse in California and apparently the oldest courthouse west of the Rocky Mountains here in the U.S. What are your thoughts?
It's a beautiful courthouse. They've restored it. The actual courtroom is upstairs on the second floor. Has probably 90% of the original seating, the judge's chair, and all the trim and everything there is all original. It's beautiful in there. It's a beautiful building.
Even from the outside, it looks very well kept up. The grounds here are just absolutely beautiful. My favorite part of the courthouse is that clock tower up there, which still works. Right outside the Mariposa County Chamber of Commerce is this awesome highlight of Mariposa County and the various things there are to see in the county itself, including the world-famous Yosemite National Park, which is located less than an hour up California State Route 140. After checking out the Mariposa County Courthouse, me and my grandpa just started walking the historic downtown area of Mariposa right along Highways 140 and 49. Many of the buildings here in the historic downtown date back to the 1800s. Although there were a number of fires that destroyed the original buildings that this town was set up on in the 1840s and 50s, many of the buildings here date from the 1870s and 1880s, and some from the early 20th century as well. It is truly an awesome sight to see all these historical buildings lining the main street there in downtown Mariposa. Like many towns in the gold country, Mariposa was founded in 1849 during the California Gold Rush. Thousands of people from all over the world flocked to the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountain range to strike it rich, but many did not and left in vain. Many of these towns, including Mariposa, gained thousands of people over the course of several weeks and even had populations exceeding over 10,000 people at one point. They were home to some of the largest population centers in California at the time. Today, however, Mariposa is only home to about 1,500 people and remains unincorporated. Despite not being incorporated, it is the county seat of Mariposa County and has always been the county seat of Mariposa County since 1850. Mariposa today mainly serves as the gateway to Yosemite National Park along California State Route 140, which is a popular route to access Yosemite in the wintertime due to its much lower elevation and the fact that it passes along the Merced River as it makes its way into the Yosemite Valley. It is one of the most scenic drives you can take in California, and Mariposa acts as the last stop before you enter the mountains and head to Yosemite National Park. Right here is where Highway 49 and 140 split. 140 goes that way towards Merced, and then Highway 49 goes that way south towards Oakhurst and Fresno. It ends at Highway 41 in Oakhurst, and then you can take that road that way back to Fresno. While exploring the southern end of the town there, where highways 140 and 49 split off, we came across this memorial here and we went to go check it out, and it just so happened to be a memorial for the 9/11 terrorist attacks that took place here in the United States in 2001. September 11, 2001 was one of the darkest days in the history of the United States. 4 planes were hijacked and 2 of them crashed into the World Trade Center in New York City. 1 crashed into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and another crashed at a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Nearly 3,000 people lost their lives on that dreadful day, and we will never forget the victims and their families of September 11, 2001. So right here is a 9/11 memorial that they constructed here. Right there behind my grandpa are actual beams from the World Trade Center. And they are fixed at angles 9, 11, 20, and 1 for the date September 11, 2001. Then of course these right here are replicas of the Twin Towers. Pretty cool. I've never seen actual metal or any parts of the buildings from the World Trade Center because obviously we live in California and the 9/11 attacks happened on the East Coast. So pretty cool to see something here from the original Twin Towers. You don't really see something like that very often, especially out here in California. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's really it's a nice tribute to the victims.
And some of you don't know this, but my grandpa actually saw the Twin Towers in person when he was on a trip to New York way back in the day. I've never seen them because I was too young, obviously, to see them. I was born in 1996, and the 9/11 attacks happened when I was 5. So, but you've actually seen the Twin Towers yourself with your own eyes. So, and yeah, it's so pretty cool for you to see something like this, huh?
Yeah, this is really neat.
So yeah, this is an awesome little area right here, just as you get into town.
These are actual pieces of the structural I-beams that the towers were constructed on.
Yeah. I didn't even see this on the internet when I was searching for things to do in this town, but it's literally right off Highway 49 right here at the entrance to town where Highway 49 and 140 split off on the south side. So yeah, definitely something really cool to see here in town.
You get up in this gold country area and people that live in these towns are very patriotic. You see a lot of American flags everywhere. In fact, there's a wooden American flag on a building right behind us. Straight ahead.
Yep. This is also Highway 49. Highway 49 and 140 run through downtown Mariposa right here. I don't know why there's not a 49 shield. I guess I can correct Caltrans's mistake right now. There we go. Looks better now, doesn't it? After visiting the 9/11 memorial, we continued back up the other side of the street as we made our way back to the car, and we saw more of the historic downtown of Mariposa and all the historic buildings here, many of which are on the National Register of Historic Places and are also National Historic Landmarks as well. After exploring more of the downtown area, my grandpa and I made our way to the Mariposa Museum and History Center, which was established in 1957 and is a great place to go to learn about the history of Mariposa and all the people that lived here before the arrival of Europeans in the 1850s during the California Gold Rush. Outside, they have a number of things on display, such as boilers and everything that goes along with mining and the history of the mining that took place in this area during the 1850s during the California Gold Rush. It's truly awesome to see what technology was used during this time to get some of the most precious metals that we know and love today. We probably spent a good half hour to 45 minutes here just seeing everything that the museum had to offer. You could easily spend an hour or two here and not see everything and just learning about the history of the area and everything like that. They even have a lot of history about Yosemite and just all of the first people that were here before the arrival of Europeans. It's really awesome to see places pay tribute to the First Nations like this. I really appreciate the time and effort that goes into these types of places, and I wish they got more visitors than they did because we were the only ones here during our visit. One thing I really like that they have in this museum is they show all of the original counties of California when it was created as a state in 1850. And one thing you notice right away is how large Mariposa County was at the time. Mariposa County in 1850 covered about 30,000 square miles compared to a modest 1,455 square miles that it covers today. All or parts of 12 other counties would be formed out of Mariposa County since its creation in 1850, thus giving Mariposa County the nickname the Mother of Counties. One thing I really like that this museum does is it pays tribute to the First Nations and indigenous people that were here long before the arrival of Europeans in the 1850s. As we finish off with these series of clips from the museum, one thing I really hope that these videos do here in the Gold Country is showcase just how underrated they really are. A lot of these places that I go to, I seem to be the only person that goes into these stores and museums and everything like that, and honestly it's really sad because there's a lot of history here that took place. A lot of history that we learn about in schools and everything like that, but it just doesn't seem to get the attraction or the crowds or anything like that, and it's really sad to see because there's just a lot of effort that's put into these museums and they just don't seem to get the traffic that would warrant like the type of effort that these people put into these places. If you're coming from the south along Highway 49, Mariposa is the first major Gold Country town that you will see on your journey on the Gold Country Highway. It has two museums, including the one that we're visiting right here that you can see and check out on your journey through Mariposa, as well as many other sites and attractions within the close proximity of town. It's really an underrated place to visit here in California and one that many people pass through on their way to Yosemite. Often it's overshadowed by the national park itself. Another thing you might notice on your travels through the Gold Country is that many people in these towns are extremely friendly and welcoming to visitors, and that was certainly true while we were here in Mariposa. We actually talked to a few people who were just walking around town and noticed that I was out filming videos with my camera and everything like that, and just asked what I was doing out of curiosity, and they thought it was really cool that I'm going to be showing highlights of their town here on YouTube. Well, folks, that's going to conclude my grandpa and I's time exploring Mariposa, California. We certainly had an awesome time exploring Mariposa here in California's Gold Country. Whether you're just passing through the town on your trip through the Gold Country on Highway 49 or you're on your way to Yosemite along Highway 140, Mariposa is a great stop to learn about the history of the area and just the town itself, because it has its own charm just like any other place in this world that we live in. I highly recommend stopping here if you're passing through the area. I just want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Stay tuned to the next adventure. We will see you soon.